Hey guys, my name is Timothy Train. I'm your link to the fire within and to God. Alright, guys, you guys have power of God, right? And you're on test on earth to test that power. Are you able to develop that power and go back and become the angel of God, right? But angel need discipline, right? Angel need to stand by God, right? So he put you here in a human form to test you to see if you have what it takes to be back to him, right? And most people fail, right? Most people like they believe and they go through their life, they live by all these emotions, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And they say all this pain and stuff like that and they start blaming God. Instead of, I understand that, God wants you to guide your power, to have that strength to stand because he don't need a weak angel to stand by him, and make his kingdom fall. He needs somebody to be strong and to be, stand where they don't falter. You know, they stand where and as an angels, don't falter. Remember, even back then, even in the Bible, say the angel come down and they make, they see beautiful woman. They fail because they on earth they start feeling the thing, right? Because when you down earth right here, you get feel all this emotion, all this feeling, all kind of stuff, all this pain that you feel, and what happened? All those things together, you can't hold to you can't you know you can't hold together. You weaken your power, right? God need to be strong, right? Jesus. That's why Jesus not married. It's because, you know what? He know that if he gonna serve God, he don't have to be married to serve God, right? To be pure as human, right? Because what happened to Adam and Eve, right? What happened the woman does, you know what I'm saying? A woman it's easy because she wanted emotion. So what happened? That she get convinced you know, by the servant, to eat that apple, right? And Adam become weak. He become weak. He wasn't, you know, really, stand by God and really, because he in time with loving his woman, so he become weak in principle and destroy the whole, the whole home, right? And that's what we're living in, right? So you guys, you got to be strong, right? You got to take responsibility. You got to take care of things. You can't be weak, right? So same thing, woman, right? Woman, can be strong and help the man to build, you know, and to prosper, right? But if woman become where, taking over, and because woman most likely run that by the emotion, right? So the man there have to guide the woman to help her, go to that pathway, to help her and stuff like that. And like they got to work together, and that's why Jesus died for all our sin is because he could not get corrupted, by a woman, right? Because he got to be pure. He got to die for all our sin, all the woman and man sin, right? I mean, we're not like Jesus, right? Because we are living in a world where we have to help each others, and we help the woman too as well. I mean, we got to be strong, right? If Adam will be strong himself and told his Eve that no, we're gonna obey by God, and what God tell you, we have everything. We have the garden, we got food, and we don't have to work, and we live here with plenty. But what happened? He's eat an apple because convinced by the servant, right? Maybe convinced by the servant, or maybe her emotional thought, like saying like tell her to like curious, and to eat apple, and because the love of Adam to her is stronger than the love of God, right? The stronger love of God, what happened? He destroys whole home, right? And that's what we're living in. And today the same way, guys. Guys, you gotta take responsibility. You gotta step up to the plate, or you'll be weak, right? And you can change your life anytime. God give you the power, the strength, right? Same thing with woman. All of you guys have power. Have power. A woman can have power to help the man to be prosper, to build, and to multiply, right? That's what it is. Unless you want to end your bloodline, he's not gonna stop you. You want to kill your baby, he's not gonna stop you. The people that stop you is because the people that want you be slave, right? They want you to be slave. They want you to work. They're evil. Even though a lot of them say they believe in God, and they, because that's why, there's a lot of people believe in God. That's why the word able to exist, right? Less people believe in God. What happened? We're gonna be like a little, a country where it's not gonna prosper, and a lot of people, more people, poor people, gonna be suffering, right? But because more people want to look to God, because more people want freedom, to live and to raise a family, and more likely they're gonna try to believe in God. But a lot of time they make their own idol and try to believe that idol instead of truly believing the right God, right? So a lot of time, either they sell gratification or make them feel good, or and stuff like that, or they're gonna force that thing on other people, right? Because they cannot, that God is not the right God, so they want to force it on other people. So they project thing out and force people to accept, what they believe, and that's wrong, right? God don't, he he don't want you to, he want you to go back to him. He want you to worship him. He want you to prosper, right? He's not gonna force you. He's not gonna force you. Whatever you want to do, he's not gonna force you. But he knows that the consequence to every action that he already create. So, and now, even tougher where man law is set in play, and now you don't obey God law. Now you're subject to man law. They're gonna steal your money from you. They're gonna steal your energy, right? That's the man law is all about. Is because they need to live, they need to survive, whether they believe in God or not. They make that law so that way they can take your energy and steal your money, right? All these laws that came out, right? They gotta survive. They're human too, right? So they're not perfect, right? So they just gotta know how to play the game better than you because you're out there angry, mad, and you're trying to do the same thing on them still, right? And you have them to pass out the law, and they're gonna punish you at the end, right? That's all it is to it. They can't punish the rich, right? The rich man's have a hard time going to heaven, right? So, now it's like if you're poor and you believe in God and you don't say nothing, then how can you be prospered, right? Because you're not willing to truly believe in God. You say you believe in God, but you're not, talk to people about God or live your life like God principle, right? What do you expect? That's the way it is, whether you like it or not, right? You got to think about that. You got power and free will. Doesn't matter where you're from in this galaxy or universe. If you're a being, you got intelligence. Now, if you don't learn to obey by God law, your power is going to be misused or given to somebody else, right? But here's a thing that God had me write it down. I'm going to share with you guys, and I hope you take something out of this little chapter that I wrote. And here it is, guys. Just listen, okay?
Other species is like the human. Among all living things, they alone were given a gift from God and his angels. The power to feel the world and shape it, a power that mirrors God himself. Yet most fail this test during their time on earth. First they believe, later they give up. Why? To live in a human body is to feel everything. Joy, pain, desire, fear. Without principles to guide this divine power, humans search for meaning in idols, systems, and beliefs. They follow leaders and entertainers who promise comfort and safety from one another. Yet most systems fail. Most hearts fail. Instead of building, creating, prospering, people work as slaves. They multiply without wisdom. They forget the purpose of their gift. Humans were meant to build, to grow, to multiply in knowledge and prosperity. But feelings often rule them. And when feelings rule, truth becomes easy to ignore. Humans imagine they can command the universe itself. They forget the one truth, that the universe was not made by them. In that forgetting, they disconnect from the source, and so they fail. It is said that it is hard for a rich man to enter heaven. Perhaps harder still for those who know the truth yet remain silent while corruption rises unchecked. Many claim faith in God, yet they support leaders who divide, entertainers who distract, while the world quietly burns. Most fail, not for ignorance, but for choosing comfort over courage. Heaven is peaceful, hell is loud. Look around. The world is very loud, closer to hell than to heaven. But it is not too late. God is forgiving. He gave humans power, through him and his angels, and a test of loyalty to God. Choice. Hell is simply the place God will not stop you from going if you remain silent while calling his name. If you want,